Have you ever tried a lot of tools in order to just get off the phone? Or have you not tried anything and definitely want to do it right now? This is the right video for you because I'll break down the 5 most important tools and impactful tools to actually reduce the time you spend on your phone and possibly even break that habit that you continuously just reach to your phone. I'm coach and psychologist Julian, and for me, it's just really important that you're able to choose what you want to spend your time on and what not. And we do that by raising awareness of the things that are happening around in your life. And sometimes we need the right tools to implement and to start the change. And that's going to happen in today's video. Today is going to be my favorite part of the series because it's going to be all about tools. And so what is the first tool to actually reduce your phone habits or to reduce the screen time that you have massively? Very, very simply. But before I share that, let's start with a general idea of why this is useful and how we can get an idea of what's actually happening and reduce that possibility of us spending so much time on the phone. And for that, I basically have a spectrum that you can imagine. On the one hand, you have no friction at all, like smoothly sliding. It's very little interference with anything you want to do. And on the other hand, there's very, very high friction, meaning it's difficult for you to get started, to get it going. This principle we can use now as well for the phone habits. So when we have a habit, let's say we do sports, we want to go to the gym. There is the low friction, could be, for example, you just don't change clothes, you don't have to do anything. You just essentially the friction is roll out maybe a yoga mat or an area where you want to do sports and just do push-ups. Friction very, very low. You can just start. Then you add a little bit of friction when it is, oh, I need to put on sports clothes. And then it's like, oh no, I don't want to put that on. It takes too much time and it's not worth it and so on. And then another friction could be to go to the gym, to maybe get into a car, go on a bicycle, and then get to the gym. Another bit of friction could be that it's cold and rainy outside. And so what that does with every bit of friction added, it makes it more likely that you will opt out at some point. Whether maybe it's with a cold, maybe it's with putting on clothes, maybe it's going to the gym. Any of those things could be the thing that stops you eventually from doing it. And so that is what we want to do also with the phone habits or with the phone addiction. And why is that so important? Because with the phone, those distractions, those things to get us addicted to became so frictionless. Most people just look at their phone, take it in, and it opens automatically. Maybe it still has the latest app open that you had there before, or you just put a finger there and you're in. And then you press on the drug of choice, right? And so the friction is almost not there. It's the only little bit is that you maybe need to charge your phone every once in a while, which happens by now also automatically. So there's zero friction between you and opening your drug of choice, your app. And so that's what we want to change. You want to build some more friction and maybe put restrictions as well. So these are the 2 things that we're going to work on, restriction and friction. Let's start with the first part, which puts so much more friction into our lives, which is deleting the apps from the phone that are not 100% necessary. So what I mean by that is for quite a while, my drug of choice was Instagram, and I always just went on it and I had the excuse of, oh, but I need to post once in a while the episodes, promote it, do X, Y, Z. Well, that changed because I was like, no, this is robbing me so much time. It's robbing me 3 hours and I just need to post something for 5 minutes. So that seems ridiculous. So what I did was I deleted the Instagram app completely, fully off my phone. And when I needed to upload something and post something, I downloaded the app and then posted it and deleted it right afterwards again. So what that does is it puts additional friction for me to get lost in Instagram, because I needed to go through the browser, usually through the computer, or use this phone browser, which looks terrible for Instagram, and get into my drug of choice, which wasn't as appealing anymore then. So that, only that, reduced my screen time by 70%, I think, just deleting Instagram from my phone and making me go through the browser, because it was too much of a hassle. So their additional friction put in there reduced so much. So whether it's a social media app, whether it's any other app that gets you into doing something that you don't actually want or need, that is the thing that you want to try at first. That's probably the most powerful thing, to delete the things that you don't need from your phone. It's as simple as that. But we don't have the initiator. Quite often we don't have the thing that gets us, okay, I'm doing it now. And when it's maybe back the app on the phone because you needed it for something, then it stays there. So you need another initiator to get you off it. And so use this now as the opportunity to stop, to pause this now and delete the apps that you don't really need. So with that, you just gain back the time of your life. Gain back time for your life just very quickly, very easily. Okay, that's the first one. Deleting apps, probably the most terrifying and difficult one as well, but probably the one that leads to the biggest results. And so once I did that, that was already amazing and it was very helpful. But, I need to try all the other tools, and I did. And the one that had the biggest impact for me after deleting the phone apps was have phone-free times and zones. I guess they're similar, or they might overlap, but they helped me tremendously. What I mean by that, the one zone that is completely free, my bedroom, helped me the most, because I can't use it to fall asleep or to scroll in the evening or just check something right before I go to bed. And it does not let me to do it, to be on my phone the first thing in the morning. So if you just implement those two strategies, essentially what happens is that your screen time reduces drastically. And that if you only apply those two things, that's quite often only what's necessary. But if that is still not working well, I got two more. So one is to eliminate all additional notifications of the apps that you still have on your phone, because it might be necessary, might be important, but quite often they bombard you with some sort of news, or check out this new feature, or check who connected with you here on LinkedIn, whatever. You should have been deleted anyways from your phone. But anyways, still, if that happens, delete all or stop all those notifications from happening, because these are additional triggers to get you onto the platform. These are essentially the things that reduce friction, because that's what they want, right? If you have this notification bubble pop up and you just have to press it and everything opens and you're right in the app, that's what the app developers want, but not necessarily you. So that's where we can gain some control back. And when we say, no, I don't want notifications. So go back to your settings and eliminate all notifications for the apps that you do not need. All right, so that is the third or fourth, if you separate the phone-free zones and times. Okay, then we get to the next one and the last one, which is the app limits. If you do have that if you do have that app on your phone and you did turn off the notifications, but you still get lost, then it is quite useful to set a reminder by restricting how much time you can spend on the app. And you do that either in screen time on iOS or digital well-being on Android, and can select each app or each category of apps, games or social networks, and tell that, hey, I only want to spend an hour a day on this. And as soon as you did that, it's off your hands and you don't have to do anything. And then after you spend an hour on it, it's like, there's a notification popping up, maybe graying out the screen and telling you, you have used all the time for today. And so that is another very important and useful tool. If any of the others didn't work yet, this one will solve a lot more. All right, so these are the tools that are tremendously helpful. So now your mind might be able to come up with additional reasons that, oh, but I can't delete this app because I might need it next week, or I can't delete this because what if in the case of XYZ? And that is very solid. Your brain is just trying to help you out here to make sure things are not going really, really bad. And so, well, I get it. And so for that reason, one little experiment or one little mechanism might be very helpful to call this an experiment. Let's just make it very small and easy and say, for 7 days, I'll try XYZ. And so now towards the end of this recording, I want to ask you and invite you essentially to make a commitment with yourself. When you look at your screen time, and I've seen how much time you spend there, and set the intention that you actually want to make a change, then choose one of the tools that I mentioned: delete apps, phone-free zones, phone-free times, notifications, deleting notifications, and restricting your apps or putting app limits. Choose one of these, and you will be able to do that just for 7 days. So just select just one, and try it for 7 days. See how it works. There's no failure. There's no possibility to it not working, because it's just an experiment. You don't know how it turns out, and that's the fun of it. So you can just do it, just try it out and see what it does. And so that's what I invite you to do. To just try to make that change. You have the motivation from the second video. You have an idea and starting an awareness from the first video. And now you have the tools that you can actually implement those changes. And so remember your motivation. Remember that most of what we're doing right now is building awareness for what you actually want, and building awareness for your habits and for the things that happen naturally, so you can make more conscious decisions. And one of them is, for example, to spend the time that you have in your life on the things that you want. And so that's what I invite you to do for just a week. Spend some more time on the things that you actually want, and try to use one of the tools to change that. If that tool didn't work for some reason, no worries, there are a bunch of others. Try the next one. And so that is one of the most important things to reduce your screen time and break up the habits, bring more friction into your life when it comes to using your phone, because that will eventually help you to reduce it just naturally. Because you're like, if the phone is in another room and not charged, you can't be bothered to walk there, put it to charge, and then just check that WhatsApp message. That is too much effort. And so that's what we want to create, actually, and make it easier for you to, for example, go to the gym. And so that's, on the other hand, the habits that you want to create, that you want to have, make them easier. If you want to go to the gym, get some nice gym clothes, put them ready to jump into, and maybe even make it very easy for you to start. Get a gym that's close to you and that you feel good in. And hence, you reduce the friction to go to the gym. And so we want to increase the friction with the phone so that we are less likely to use it and more likely to read a book, to do a breathing meditation, to do something that makes us feel better afterwards. There are some tools that help you to get out of the habit. But there's one important thing that brings us usually back into the habit, which is strong emotions like boredom, like anger, like frustration, like stress. And these emotions trigger us using the phone again because we want to get rid of those emotions because we don't like them. And for that reason, in the next week's episode, we'll talk about emotions and how you can deal with them, because those are the ones that trigger us quite often to use the phone, because phone is a coping mechanism for the emotions. That's what we're going to do next time, because you might fail with one of those tools, but with knowing how to deal with your emotions, that's how you get the key. Looking forward to seeing you there next time. Feel free to check out my Insight Timer online course about mindful tech use. And if you want to dive even deeper into this topic and maybe raise awareness, not just in phone subjects, but also generally about your life and understanding more about yourself, feel free to either meditate with me on It's a Timer or reach out to me personally, and I can help you and we can talk about that. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you next week for another step into your greater awareness towards what you want to do. All right. Thank you so much. See you soon. Bye-bye.